Hello students and welcome to the lecture. So students, as we know that we are covering the banking financial knowledge and the banking awareness part of it, and basically we had started the discussion over the banking evolution in the previous lecture. So basically in this lecture we are going to complete it the more details part of the banking evolution. All right, so let's start. So basically we had discussed about the early banking practices like the indigenous banking system, okay, Hundi system, and sharafs and sharofs. So basically, now we are going to start the discussion about the Tola system. The solar system was prevalent in the south of India, where goldsmiths often doubled as bankers. Alright? People would deposit their valuables with goldsmith who issued a receipt for the deposit. These receipts served as a form of currency. Alright? So basically, you can say if we talk about the Tola system, then it is very much similar about money lending activities of today, which is often regarded as gold loans. Okay. Now you will ask me why it is known as the gold loans and why I am connecting it with these things. So the first thing is that the Tola system is basically started by the goldsmiths. Okay, who are often known as sahukars. All right, and basically these peoples are considered as the bankers of their own time. And even if you are aware about the today's scenario in major you can say some part of India which are the backward or the remote parts, even the people are used to get the loan or money from the sahukars. Okay, remote area people. All right, still they are responsible, or you can say they still they are um, dependent on the sahukars to get their money. All right. So now the question is, what do you mean by the Tola system? Okay, and why I'm connected with the goldsmith, and why even the today the people are dependent on them. Okay, so basically, if you have noticed in your childhood, like this is your family member. He could be your father, he could be your mother, your brother, sister, or any other of your family member. Okay. Thereafter, whenever you required a money and the other things, there are two ways. Took the loan from bank, okay, and loan from friends and families. There are two ways to fulfill the need of an hour. Alright? But there is also a third way which is known as the gold loan. Now you will ask me why this person will opt for the gold loan instead of going to the loans from banks and loan from friends and families. Okay? So basically, if we talk about it, so the first option is loan from bank. Okay. However, the banks are the greedy entities, you can say. They wanted to grant the loan as per as they could so that they could earn good amount of interest and their income will rise up. Right? That is what banks want. But if this is the true thing, why the banks are not willing to grant the loans easily? Okay, you have noticed it that sometime when you visit to the bank and any of a family member like this person visit to the bank, okay, and then they ask for the loan, okay. So sometimes there's a condition that you easily got it. Sometime is difficulty to got it, or even you can say rejection by the bank to grant you debt sum. Okay, so this is the main condition, and this could be happen because of the some main reasons. Like the first is priority of bank to high entities. Okay. Second condition is unvalid documents. Third is Reserve Bank of India's policy on money supply. These are the three main reasons why the banks often reject the you can say loan application of people. First thing is that banks are focusing on priority to the high sector or high entities, like to invest in the corporation, okay, development projects, all right, or you can say consumer could pay high interest, right? If bank could invest their money in these areas, then why it would focus on the individual who could only afford up to 8% of interest rate. All right, that's why it's a priority of banks to the high entities. Second is unvalid documents, might be your documents are not valid and all the things. And the third one is the RBI policy on the money supply. It means that whenever Reserve Bank of India instructed them to give them a less amount, you can say Reserve Bank of India could instructed the banks to issue a low amount of loans to reduce money supply in the economy. Okay, and this is basically known as the monetary policy. Okay, so these are the three main cases on which there is a hardship when you go for the loan from bank. All right, thereafter the second option is loan from friends and families. You could borrow it, but as I had told you, they must be in condition, they must be in condition to give you the loan. Okay, if they are even suffering, they could not give you the loan. All right, so these are the some cases why the loan from the normal channel is affected. So how to deal with this kind of situation? The best option is to go for gold loan. Okay, suppose the person who was taking the loan, he want rupees 50,000 as a loan. Okay, so he could visit an individual who is generally known as the goldsmith. Okay, or you can say sunhar. In Hindi, he is known as sunhar. Okay, so that person could reach the goldsmith. Okay, and he has to submit his jewelry made up of gold and silver with that person. All right. Thereafter, this person will examine will examine the quality and originality of the jewelry. Okay, and if the goldsmith found that the jewelry is basically equivalent to rupees 50,000, thereafter he will give him rupees 50,000 in cash. That's how the system of goldsmith work. It means that you have to submit your jewelry with the goldsmith, okay, and then the goldsmith will examine the quality. Is the quality is good, or the originality means is the jewelry which you have submitted is original or not. Okay. Thereafter, if he evaluate that the jewelry is equivalent to rupees 50,000, he will give the amount. Okay. Similar thing were basically happening in that time. Okay. People have to deposit their valuables with a goldsmith who issued a receipt of the deposit. It means that when that person who is the borrower and that person who is basically the lender, or you can say he's basically the goldsmith. Okay, so basically when that person gives him the deposit, then this person will give him the money. Okay, in nowadays, but in the ancient time and the you can say earliest time, they issued the receipt of deposit, which is known as the currency. Okay, means there is a two-way flow. Okay, that's how the tola system works, and basically it is known as the tola, which means the weight. All right, for example, suppose that person submitted his jewelry to the goldsmith. All right, thereafter the goldsmith will examine the jewelry, and the first step is weighing it. Suppose after weighing he finds out the jewelry is in the quantity of 5 kg of gold. Okay, and 1 kg is basically at rupees 10,000. Okay, so if the person submitted 5 kgs jewelry, it means that 5 into 10,000, 50,000 will be the total amount. Okay, so this is the entire scenario of the tola system. Got it? That's why it is known as the tola, which means that your deposits will be first weighing, and as per their weight and the price in the market, you will get the loan from the you can say the goldsmith. Okay, and remember there is a one condition that if you are unable to repay the loan with interest, Yes, the loans are often issues on interest. Okay, then your deposits will be sold by the seller to compensate his loss. Okay, for example, if you had borrowed rupees 50,000 from him at 20% interest for 2 years, okay, on simple interest, so it means that you are required to pay 50,000 into 2 into 20, 10,000 more as a interest. Okay, which means that rupees 50,000 is your principal amount and the additional amount of 10,000 is imposed. So now you are required to pay 60,000 to the lender. You had only borrowed 50,000 but you are required to pay 60,000 after the interest. Okay, and if you are unable to do it, then the goldsmith will sold of the items to recover rupees 50,000. Okay, however, it is not so you can say important that the interest will be paid off to the customer or to the lender. Okay, but the amount which they had provided to the borrower, they should recover it. Okay, now let's move forward. Thereafter, the next is the temple banks. Okay, some temples in the ancient India functioned as banks, provided safe storage for valuables, and acted as lending institution. Temples were considered secure places to store wealth. Okay, so basically, the temples of the early India were also served as a bank. How? Suppose there are 10 people in the villages who submitted their valuables in the place called the temple. Okay, in such case, temple will take care of the deposit. Okay, even will use the combined fund to grant loans. Okay, that's how the system works. People submitted their money with the temple. Okay, then temple loaned that money to grant the then the temple used that money to grant the loans. Okay, so students, basically in this lecture we have looked upon certain figures of the more details on the banking evolution. In the next lecture we will continue with the same topic. Till then, just revise all the facts and figures, and with this note let's end this lecture, and thank you.